Hello, welcome back. Modern Magic for the Modern Man. We're going to play some more blue-black turns. As of right now, we are 0-1. Let's see how we do on this game. So far, so bad. If we were on the draw, this would be a big, fat maybe, but man, this is tough. I still don't hate fetid pools, even if this hand was playable, and this was my only land. Still doesn't hurt. I still think it's a good inclusion in this deck. Yeah, a 5-card hand. But we got a Giga Drowse. I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and go down to 5. Ooh, check this out. This is amazing. Yes. Yeah, I'll keep that on top too. Howling Mine is great. I've already got a Giga Drowse, so I'll throw that one away. Forgot to give my opponent the old good luck tease. Okay. Celestial Colonnade seems bad. I'm going to hold off on the Howling Mine. The old Wall of Omens. I'm not going to crack the fetch, because I really am not that interested in thinning my deck. Oh yeah, that's fantastic news. So essentially we're getting there. I just have to start outdrawing my opponent on mana. So far, blue-white control has been a fairly rough matchup. Just the density of counterspells that they play is just really hard to handle. But a card like Giga Drowse puts us firmly in the driver's seat when it comes to that. Don't do that. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to leave these fetches uncracked. Alright. So, I'm going to Giga Drowse my opponent now at the end of their turn. And try to land this Howling Mine. Alright. Lots of Serum Visions from my opponent. I haven't been paying attention to their scries. So last turn they put a card on top, so they drew it. Put another card on top and a card on bottom. Alright, so I'm going to Giga Drowse, replicate twice. And tap down my opponent. Okay. And then I really don't know what I do from here, to be honest. Oh my goodness gracious. What an amazing draw. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I just drew that. And Exhaustion is great. And Mikakoru is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and Time Warp. Wow, we have hit the literal nuts this game. I can't believe it. Exhaustion again. Part the water veil. Alright. Now I'm going to just put my opponent under exhaustion and pass the turn. I think we're far enough ahead that that's okay. Alright, my opponent drew a land. I'm going to go ahead and draw another card with my opponent. Sounds good. Alright. Threw away a Wall of Omens. Yeah, this is insanely lucky. Supreme Verdict is out. I'm going to cast Part the Water Veil because I've got backup copy. Howling Mine. Serum Visions. I think I'm going to Serum Visions? I don't want either of those, to be totally honest. Alright, I'm going to give my opponent another exhaustion. And I'm going to play another Howling Mine. So the unfortunate part of this is that my opponent will almost certainly have 2 lands after this turn. And negate is a real issue. Yeah, so they go immediately to clean up to start playing defense. So another Giga Drowse here would be fantastic. Then I can pass the turn and tap them down. There's my Giga Drowse. Wow. I can't believe that. I didn't draw any lands for 2 turns. Okay. Put this island on top and this Temporal Mastery on top of that. So I can tap down 5 of my opponent's lands. I don't know if that's even worth it, really. I'm going to have to really try hard to wriggle out from underneath this. Okay, my opponent's going to play stuff. So it looks like they've got a detention sphere coming down. I don't know. Do I let that resolve? Because I know they're going to target Howling Mine, but then I can play Dictative Crufix. Actually, yeah, I do let that resolve because I have a Temporal Mastery on the top of my deck. And I can tap down the rest of their lands with Giga Drowse. Yeah. I think that's perfectly fine. Hang on, hang on. I think I hit F4. Alright. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and replicate 4 times. Really no reason not to. And I can tap down Wall of Omens. I can also tap down Detention Sphere, but, well, that's not necessary. Although, it is fun. So, I did play against an opponent that was playing a card called Summary Dismissal. Out of this blue-white deck. I wonder if we'll see it here. I doubt it. I doubt that's the most common thing to do. Yeah. So it's really easy to miss target with Giga Drowse. Alright, Ghost Quarter down. Temporal Mastery, yes please. Yeah, I will cast it. And then I can play Howling Mine, and then Dictative Crucifix. So now I'm back right where I started. So I've got the land on top. Water Grave, Serum Visions. Let's see. Yeah, I've got plenty of lands. I'm going to have to burn this part to Water Veil, maybe. I do want that, I do want that Snapcaster Mage. Yep. So I've only got one more part of Water Veil left in the whole deck. But I can start beating down with Snapcaster Mage. Let's see. I want to Time Warp. Yes. There it is. I will target myself if you don't mind. Did I just play this turn? Yeah, I did. Okay. And I can also snap back my Snapcaster Mage. Looks like that's what I'm going to have to do here. Another Time Warp, please. So, as of right now, I don't have enough turns to sustain attacking for 2. I really need a part to Water Veil. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this. I think that's the best use I'm going to get out of it. And throw an exhaustion at my opponent. Is that right? I think I should draw a card with Mikakoru. So like I said, part to Water Veil is what I need. There it is. Yep, my opponent's tapped down. Oh no, yeah, I've got a Sunken Hollow to fetch. Well, maybe I don't. I think I threw one in the graveyard. Oh well. Let's see, 8. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go ahead and deal normal damage. Let's see what's left in the old deck. I've got Time Warp, Temporal Mastery, and Snapcaster Mage. That's it. Alright, so all that posturing caused me to eat quite a lot of my time. I think my opponent knows that. So I got to play quick here. Tasker is good. It provides some early pressure, and it's cheap, so I can have some counterspell backup. I like the counter squall. And I like the dispel. Commandeers also seems pretty good. I think Thoughtseize is also acceptable, and maybe Collective Brutality. Since I'm playing just a pure control matchup, being able to handle their control elements is important. So I do not need any fatal pushes. Exhaustion is actually not that good. The only time exhaustion is good is when it follows up a Giga Drowse. Snapback is not what I'm doing what I want to do. I'm playing a grindier matchup, so I want to keep in as many of these as I can. Cryptic Command is not what I want either. Yeah, so I think this package here is good enough. If I can get some early pressure with Tasigur, I totally expecting them to board out all of their removal. So Tasigur in this case, landing him as early as possible is, I'm fairly certain, a good idea. Alrighty. Yeah, so blue light control is becoming somewhat popular now. It may be worth it to consider a Boseiju who shelters all in the sideboard. It's a card that can really help you power out your turn spells. I do not, though, want to play it in the main deck because I think we've already got enough colorless lands between Mikakoru and Inkmoth Nexus. I think having a third will just dilute the mana base. Like, you really want all the blue mana you can get for your exhaustion or your Giga Drowse. So it's that sort of thing. I'm going to keep this hand. A Leyline of Sanctity for my opponent. I don't know. That's good because I did bring in Thoughtseize. But I don't know what I showed my opponent that gave them the impression that they needed that. Backup Giga Drowse is good. Go ahead and fetch out a Watery Grave. I expect my opponent to be playing some number of Spreading Seas. So, for that reason, I'm going to hold on to this Sunken Hollow and start fetching out islands. Yep. Let's see, they drew a card. Top. They're thinking. Top and bottom. I'm fine with continuing to draw lands. Alright, my opponent comes up with a relic. So that really doesn't bother me. So my opponent is boarding in a bunch of things and diluting their game plan. I think they had enough removal they could have boarded out where they could maintain their counterspell density. But who knows. Alright, so I need a Howling Mine or a Dictate of Krufix now. I think at this point Dictate would be even better. I do have a Dispel for backup. Yep. You got it. Ooh, my opponent missed a land drop. That is huge. Another relic. That's funny. Um, yeah. I thought about crypticking it because that does give them a redraw. And by fighting their redraws and stuff, that, that might be a fight worth fighting for, but who knows? Fetid Pulse is cool because I am going to cycle it. Man, it looks like my opponent is still bricking on lands. That's huge for us. Tasigur. Alright, so I can actually hard cast Tasigur and leave up Dispel, which is kind of crazy. And I'm going to do it. My opponent might have a Mana Leak or a Logic Knot. Yeah, and I will fight them over this. Yeah, they've got a Dispel of their own. I'm fine with that. So I just drain their hand pretty much. Tasker creates some insane value, but I think that was the right time to go ahead and make an attempt. Yeah, I meant to click on Fetid Pools there. I don't know why I gave up the Dispel. I actually have enough mana now to Dictative Crucifix and Giga Drowse my opponent down. Yep. There it is. Yeah, I'm going to go for it here. Man, I feel terrible for my opponent. Yep, 3 mana. They're going to play Spell Queller. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I will exile my Giga Drowse. If that will make you happy. Counter Squall's a good draw. So we're going to attempt to go off here. Yep, you got it. A Remand and a Snapcaster Mage. So unfortunately I don't have anything to snap back, but that's okay. So we bricked on a turn spell, but I think we're still okay with my opponent being just so far behind. Alright, so I'm going to Giga Drowse my opponent. Tap down all of their lands. Okay. Hit that, and hit that. Yeah, I made a mistake. I need to start doing this in my opponent's main phase. Because all I gotta do is float all that mana, and they can counter anything else I want to play. Yeah, I'm going to let that resolve. I don't know that they can flashback anything useful. So they did what I said I didn't want to see, is that they floated their mana. And step. Serum Visions is a pretty good draw. Let's see what I get. Another Giga Drouse and another Dictate. Alright. I'm going to return a land to their hand and draw a card. And I'm going to do that because I can assert my dominance here and really maintain the mana advantage. Yeah, I'll get rid of the Serum Visions. Yes. I think I might do it again. Hang on. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand and draw a card. There we go. Yep. So yeah, having 2 counter spells, I'm not really afraid of anything that they've got. Yep. Oh yeah, you got it. Taking 4 damage here is fairly inconsequential. It's still a 4-turn clock. Alright, discard Temple of Enlightenment. Yeah, so they're getting their mana base back. But being able to play 1 land a turn, I can't really help you with that. Okay. My opponent wants to interact with this, they're free to, but it's going to hurt them in the long run. I'm going to bottom both of these. Play land. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Time Warp and just to bait out a counter spell for no other reason. My opponent will negate. I will remand it. And I drew Howling Mine. What luck. Yeah, so these past 2 games, I can't lie, I've been drawing amazingly well. Alright. I'm going to snap Time Warp here. Again, just playing around any sort of counter spell or a spell pierce. I may actually tap that down at some point. Okay, no need now. So my opponent went for the exile, the graveyard, which is the right play. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually 1 mana short for Part the Water Veil. Yep. So again, end of turn here, we're going to be tapping down with the Giga Drouse. And then we should have no issues sliding in for the win. Yeah, again, this attack doesn't bother me. Although my... Okay. So an Alpha Strike here from my opponent would signal maybe they've got a board wipe. But this right here tells me they definitely don't. Let's see. 5, yeah. So I'm gonna replicate for five total, and that way I can tap down Snapcaster Mage. Alright, my opponent's floating the requisite mana. So again, that's the importance that I stated earlier of Giga Drowsing in the main phase. Um, Against a control deck, that's what I like to do is play things at the end of their turn, because a counter battle is just as good as a Giga Drows usually. So, whereas an aggressive deck, you'll be doing it on their upkeep. So I mean, this just makes my targets a lot easier to select. Tap that down. I could maybe see a cryptic command on their own land, so they replay it. No, they can't do that. They've already played a land. Tap down Leyline of Sanctity because it's fun. Show me what you got. Detention Sphere is unfortunately not going to resolve. Hold on. Do I even care? What are they going to target? Snapcaster Mage? Yeah, I'll just replay Dictate if they're in phase. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna play around Mana Tithe. I'm gonna make the right play. The blue-white control deck with a playset of Mana Tithe. That would be my luck. Path to Exile. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, please. The land is just worth so much more than Snapcaster Mage. I don't care. I think that there is a blue-white version of this deck where you play 4 Snapcaster and 4 Path, and you do that because it's a rampant growth, with buyback that flashes back a spell. So, I might explore that in the future. Thoughtseize, ineffective against a tapped Leyline of Sanctity. Another part the Water Veil, eh? I think I'll awaken this land for fun. Probably should have played Snapcaster Mage there, because I have enough mana that I could play Park the Water Veil, that lane, and then Snapcaster and just win here. Alright, my opponent conceded. So that game was made fairly easy. Game 1, we had oh man, just the mother of all temporal masteries. Uh, there's a reason why you play them. there's really nothing else I can say about that. I don't believe we would have won that game without that sequence of draws. And then that last game, my opponent got stuck on lands. At one point, I had 8 mana when they were at 4, and I used the strategy of using cryptic commands to bounce their lands to set them even farther back. So at one point, we were in 8-to-2 land ratio. So when you got to be able to understand what sort of matchup you're up against, and then you got to understand how your strategy plays out against them. So, um, what I'm trying to say is, when you're up against a control matchup, and you and your opponent, you're just playing lands and passing the turn. It's so important that you are able to play a land every turn with them. Um, so having such a huge advantage meant that my opponent probably never had a chance. And you saw that in game one, is that I got stuck at 4, and my opponent had plenty more. But being able to temporal mastery and take an extra turn and draw the first 2 cards off that Howling Mine was just so crucial. That let me keep up in the land race, and the rest played out as it should. So far so good. We got incredibly lucky. That's a very, very tough matchup. I believe the last time I played a blue-white control, I was in the driver's seat to win, but I actually timed out. It's not something I do often. I try to play very quickly, but you can't beat them all. So thank you all for watching. Hope to bring you some more good content, and we will see you next time.